Hello and welcome to Digital Mandate, presented by Tech Disruptor Media from the House of Bharat Network Group. Digital Mandate brings to you insights and conversations with technology and business leaders that gives us insights into the technology trends and adoption patterns. And today we bring to you a live conversation from CIO 2026 Lucknow. I am Balaka, and with me is Mrs. Jyoti Lata from Godrej Capital. And we are going to have an insightful conversation in terms of what's going on within Godrej Capital. Thank you, Jyoti, for joining us.
Thank you for inviting.
Yeah. Tell us, what has been the digitalization journey at Godrej Capital. And first of all, it's wonderful to see women at a leadership position, and I'm very excited to know what kind of things are going on under your initiative at your organization.
Very nice. So, first of all, in Godrej Capital, when we have set up, there was no word called physical. So, when we were just thinking about the business processes and designing and then implementing, and everywhere, I think the digital was the only theory that we had. So, our digital company, yeah, it is a digital first company, and it is not just for the namesake. It is in the proper execution and the daily life. Digital is the word that we are having, and all the processes are designed in such a way that all the digital initiatives and the technology, new emerging technologies, and then how do we make use of that in the business processes? That was a thought process. So everything got designed thinking that, and really is helping us now in scaling up, because basically the initial thought process itself, everything is digital, is the only mantra which is helping to scale up and also cater to the needs of the changing customer priorities.
Right. So give us a sense or an understanding of your operational expanse, like your presence across the country and how many employees would you have in the organization?
So we do have a base of 2,500 plus employees, and we are mostly in Pan India. We are spread Pan India, and more or less I can say. So every segment is different, and every state is different. The processes also are different, and if you may know, this is we are into lending and also wealth management. Recently we launched wealth management, so the customer segments itself are different. So that is why when you are doing any kind of process design, it is not like a one size fits all, right? So it has to be not tweaked for the customer needs and the particular segment at all. So that is how the entire thing got designed. Our technology landscape, if you see, it is highly configurable and highly changeable, and it is like a lot of things are happening in the AI front also to actually change the things as per the customer needs.
Right. So two things. One is I want to know more about your AI adoption, particularly because you are in the lending business. How is it creating outcomes in terms of your business impact? The other thing is, because you're saying you were a digital first company, and so designing workflows are very important. So this is the other question. Is that because it's digital and because it's workflow, and that has a very great impact on the outcome. So do you need to keep tweaking the workflows to get optimized outcomes in terms of digital processes?
Exactly. I think when you are designing any workflow, you will be designing for that particular stage of the organization, for that particular the scalability needs, and also a particular state, or probably the other nuances of it. So when you are going ahead in your journey and all, it is very important for us to make a change in the workflow, so that it will always be a kind of evolving, because customers are not the same, right? Customer needs are evolving, technology is evolving. If we are having the same workflows, then neither AI is going to help nor any kind of automation is going to help. But finally, you have to make the business processes first. and it's a continuous process. I can't say that okay, only business process re-engineering is going to help, or one automation is going to help, or AI is going to help. It is a combination of all these three. And as a technology leader, how we are keeping a tab on this kind of evolving changes and the available new emerging technologies, and think whether these processes need any re-engineering and any automation can help, and then on top of it AI is going to help.
Right.
Yeah.
So now to the question of AI. What sort of AI have you deployed, to get like faster returns or better optimized outcomes from customer interactions?
So our journey has been very different. First of all, we thought that okay, AI is very important, and AI is going to result in very good process optimizations and also customer experience, and also at some places it can help increase the revenues also. So, but before that, we thought having a proper platform, having a kind of guardrail is very important. So our teams have worked on coming up with the AI platform which is called Suction. It is completely in-house built platform. This is having the required guardrails, and you can make a number of let us say any chatbot is required for any kind of process understanding and all. So these things can be done automatically by the users itself. So they don't have to come to technology for that one. And this system is having already all the guardrails and all. It is being used as a kind of, it can be used as a LLM gateway type thing. And then we focused on what kind of, as I think in the previous question you asked me about the business processes and all that. So in the business processes, being in the lending industry, so it is very, very document heavy. So the digital documents do come, so that way it is digitalized. But whether the digitalized information can be automatically extracted, and then you can make good insights out of it. So that is a document intelligence that we have got. So our document intelligence bot is able to extract the data, and it is able to triangulate, and it is able to give the summarization of all the required documents. It is part of our onboarding journey. And also our the bureaus and the information is very, very it runs into pages. So that kind of summarization also we have done. So it will be useful for the people who are actually sourcing the applications, and whether it is a good application, or how to take it forward, and what more documents and all are required. Based on this kind of summarization, it is possible for the people to do. And on top of it, we have done customer 360, where you will be getting the entire insights about the customer interactions with you, and with the entire data put together is a kind of insight. What kind of offers you can now put to the customer, and how do you make the customer, how do you service the customer in a better way. So this is another customer service area. You can say that in most of the places, wherever it is there, we have touched upon AI. It is a kind of everyday AI. Having said that, I can't say that we are in the final matured state. It is a evolving journey, and every time all the AI technology is also changing. So are we changing our processes and our the utilities and this kind of stuff.
So where have you designed and deployed this Suction platform?
It is in-house, and it is in our data center itself. It is there with.
So, are you also embracing some sort of public cloud in your deployments?
To some extent, it's a kind of hybrid, I would say, and I can't say that it is on cloud. It's a kind of hybrid solution that we have developed, because it's a highly regulated industry. So it is not that everything can be going outside on organization. So that's how the wrappers and the layers that we have designed, so that only the required data goes, and it's not that everything is available to everyone. And we have done a kind of access management and all those things very in a very clear way. And the processes of the AI processes and policies have been defined in the organization. And also we are moving towards having the proper AI GRC in the sheet. So after that only it will be a kind of, we can say that okay, it is like full-fledged, and we can do everything in the production. So everyone is doing a POCs, and that it's a kind of the required security is very much required for AI. So it is still evolving. AI security is evolving. AI is very fastly moving, and then this one is slowly evolving. I think it's a kind of a balancing act for all the leaders like me. It's not only the challenge for me, I think it is a challenge for all. And I hope we would be getting a proper AI security, and then you will be going with all the professionalizing of all the security AI applications which are in the very, very sensitive areas.
See, now with AI, like that AI tools are also available to data breachers, people who are trying to breach the security fortress that you might. Does it give you sleepless nights? Because
Yes.
despite the best tools and things, it's always a matter of time as to breaching your systems.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is like it's always a kind of like you can never say you are 100, you're scoring 100, 100 on 100 in security. And with AI coming in, it is like if you don't give, you will be losing out on some kind of productivity, and maybe you are not, you are killing the innovation in a way in the organization. But if you give it to all, it is a kind of, you're just opening a floodgate without having any plan of how do you control that flood. So that's a balancing act is what I would say. So I'm just opening, but the water flow has to be controlled in such a way that it will be used for the proper use, right? For the proper purpose. So that is a thing, and it's very, very challenging times, because I think we have to run, but at the same time we should not be having many accidents, and we have to make the organization very AI pro, and then the AI first organization should be there to get the best out of it, but secure the data. And with DPDP bill coming in, a lot more things have to be done on these layers before calling any of the these utilities.
Now, one thing I have noticed or we read about is, despite the best security and all, it's not just the ingression that happens. A lot of times, security breaches are because of mistakes by employees.
Yeah.
Say it's phishing and all. So, do you agree that with that? And what are you doing to prevent accidental?
So the phishing attacks and all, I think awareness is the only thing, and you will have to make them aware of the multiple things, and you have to do the simulations and all, which every organization is doing. But having said that, are you protected 100 on 100? No. I don't think that will be true, because it's not possible also, because it's like you can't control everything just by awareness. There should be proper guardrails, because if the employee is doing any kind of mistake also, but are we having any intelligent system guards which can can alert you at the right time?
Right.
So that's why I said this landscape for this kind of security architecture, having this AI in place, is also slowly evolving. So it's like the combination of both is
Security by design.
Yes.
So, Jyoti, it was such a pleasure speaking with you and knowing what's going on, and also knowing, what all is going on at the security level. That's also very interesting to know. Thank you for the conversation. Thank you and best of luck.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.